Worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Well, I'm not gonna leave you alone. I want you to get mad.
My people, we have been suppressed for far too long. It's time we take a stand against these tyrannical forces that have been put in place, and show them what the fuck we're made of, and take a stand. Come on! All rise, it's the moment of truth. They turn the world into a battlefield, no hope for the truth. All the psychological damage is broken to youth. Now they got them taking pills just to cope with abuse and pull a profit. Shit is all toxic. People full of fear and governments full of tyrants. Want us all afraid so we can remain silent. All these politicians are the real fucking virus. They want us all divided. Otherwise they plans collapse. We're too strong, so they put us in this massive trap. It's always left versus right and whites versus blacks. Now they trying to do the same with vax and unvaxxed. It's textbook when you trying to conquer. I'ma show you how to do it like these violent monsters. Look, you keep the citizens all fighting each other so they never fight you, and you can watch them all suffer.
Sweet dreams are made of it. Who am I to disagree?
I said I'm one of the people.
Travel the world in 7 seas.
They can't stop us.
Everybody's looking for something.
It's time we overthrow suppression and make ourselves heard till they finally get the message, and let them know the power of the people is a weapon they don't wanna fuck with unless they down for Armageddon. Can't waste another second, I'ma fight until the evil decease. Stay online trying to take away your freedom of speech. If you don't fit the narrative or keep the people asleep, you get your platform stripped for deceiving the weak. It's fucked up, and honestly we gotta make a change. The freedoms that we have are all at stake as the currency inflates. They season every dollar in your bank just for questioning the power that's in place. They got us in restraints, but they will never censor me. Best believe I'ma fight till I rest in peace. Yes indeed, the slave ship isn't for me. I'd rather die on my feet than to live on my knees, so fuck you.
Sweet dreams are made of it. Who am I to disagree?
I said I'm one of the people.
Travel the world in 7 seas.
They can't stop us.
Everybody's looking for something.
Yeah. Put the cucumber in the vodka. It's a cruel summer, it been hot, bruh. Mom claim Italian pops the city. Judea's bought my pasta, the lockers. Pops always said, watch your posture. He ain't on my shoulders, held lots of. Used to hold me in the mirror, say I was champ of the world. Shit, wasn't gossip, no. Accurate forecast. Looking forward, don't need more pass. Putting rappers in the compost, cause can't afford any more trash. I don't got any more passes. Feel compassion, slipping away. All this savageness in a cage. Whole culture is MMA. Watch the lightning in the clouds, everything pretty till it hits earth. Our construction is destruction. Tell me really, what's the shit worth? What's the purpose for a wordsmith if the doors they supposed to open? About to be permanently closed in. Is it really all just for coping? Put the cucumber in the vodka. It's a cruel summer, it been hot, bruh. Mom claim Italian pops the city. Judea's bought more pasta than lockers. Pops always said, watch your posture. He ain't on my shoulders, held lots up. Used to hold me in the mirror, say I was champ for the world. Shit, what gossip? On my own, I don't got a roster. Dread on my mind like a roster. Stressed all the time, pour the sauce up. Young redundant, never punting. Fourth and long, always find a way. I be strong my own kind of way. I be strong my own kind of way. Shit, that's all I've been trying to say. If you got a problem with me, I don't really gotta care no more. Ooh, I'm gon' walk in my peace. I don't gotta interfere no more. Who want it? Bitch, I ain't no newcomer. Cool as the cucumber in the vodka, baby, it's a new summer. I don't got a new number. Bitch, I got the same doggone line. Might be hard to find, though. Somewhere lost in my mind. Still gonna be the champ, though. Still gonna be the champ. Still gonna be the champ, though. Still gonna be the champ. Still gonna be the champ, though. Still gonna be the champ. Even if it ain't a world left, baby, I'll be damned.
What's going on, people? Happy Saturday. Market's a little bit down depending on what coin you're sitting in, but hopefully everybody playing everything safely. And you'll have to excuse me, I don't know if it comes across, but someone's weed eating right outside my window, so it's a little bit loud. Can't even hear myself think right now, so we'll try to get through this this beginning part here. Let me switch over real quick. Trying to disorganized up here. Howdy. I changed up the camera situation just a tad bit. I liked Ryan's little like tighter shot, and that allows it to work better with, you know, this little tab over here. So I opted to go with that. But right now, still chilling in my BTC long. And this is usually the point where people start to mess up. I was talking to a buddy today about that. To me, you know, you probably have people shouting from the rooftops. You know, you look at all these other coins, you look at, you know, Sushi's down 5%, Luna's down 5%, KDA was down, I think 13% at its peak today or something like that. So pretty bearish across the board. So people might go, well, why don't you take your loss now and save yourself the other $40 that you're going to lose? To me, it's a matter of when I made this trade, that was my plan. I don't want to sacrifice my plan just because of other factors. All right. And what tends to happen is if we do hang around this area, people will take their profit or take the slight loss, and then it will start to go back up a little bit, and then they'll get back into the trade. They'll start going back down a little bit, and they'll keep doing that over and over again. And especially if you're marketing in, marketing out, terrible for your account to have those back and forth trades. I'm all for market trading. It just has to be done correctly. If you're doing that like jittery back and forth, you know, do you want to be in, do you want to not type deal, it's gonna be an issue with your account. Just because that extra small loss from the market fee is gonna eat you up. So Ethereum does need to come back up quite a bit in order for me to get back into that trade. Like I said, we do have, you know, let me use the trading view chart here. We'll start with Ethereum today. Like I said, on Ethereum, for me in particular, I need to be back above about 2,880 in order for me to get back into a long. Now, I know what people are going to say. They're going to go, hey, you know, what about this ABC right here? And I get that. That is a valid structure. But the problem is in order for me to have like probability that can even compete with the macro structure, I need to play the larger structure. So yes, could that potentially have reversed us back above this and then saw continuation after that? Absolutely, but I would have just been in the long from here. Same goes for the future. You know, if we put in a lower low here, that's going to create technically another ABC. All right. I rather stick to that particular point than hop in every single ABC on the way down. Like I said, right now, we have only probability to the downside. We don't have any major supports, especially on Ethereum. All right, Ethereum, the last local low. All right, because if we're starting from where we we topped out at. Obviously, we had a local low here, which we tried to find support on, but failed. All right. And then if we go down this line, you can see there's small supports here, but the major support would be this one coming up here where we're currently sitting pretty much. But if we can't get a bounce off of this support, particularly 2,818, there is no viable support until we get down to, around 2,560. The bottom line support being around 2,492 here. And I'll mark those out with bigger numbers for people to see. So these are the local lows from this uptrend here. So obviously we have uptrend, downtrend, local low, uptrend, downtrend, local low. And then from there, that's where I started picking off the smaller ones. You can see uptrend, first break of trend, lower low, and then not lower low, but local low. So if we fail to find support here, we are going to drop pretty significantly on the shorter term time frames. Obviously, it's not that massive in the grand scale of things, but that's only the beginning. If this macro structure here is, giving us an inkling on what price action really wants to do here, more than likely we will see an extension of the C wave past the A here. So if that happens, we should be targeting around 1,725. And if that fails, next stop will be 1,300. Since we don't have any major supports macro-wise on BTC, in terms of, if we fail to hold, say, 29,000, the next local low is 16,328. I don't think that is the highest likelihood to be hit. So in this case scenario, I think I'm going to use Ethereum as my lead indicator on the bottom of the market. I do believe that 1,300 is a likely scenario for Ethereum to be hit. Me personally, I think that's fair because it's a solid support and it's the next logical step if we can't hold 1,740. Now, obviously on the shorter term time frames, we have a lot more to break through, but I do want to start preparing a macro plan, just thinking out scenarios in the future, just in case they do happen. It's not about solidifying your opinion of what will happen. It's about preparing for what can happen. So that's my plan going forward. So short term, we are sitting at one of the stronger supports on BTC. It's a little bit of conflicting information across the mommy and daddy of the crypto market here. Kadena is sitting at a strong support, but does have a little bit further down that it can go. Technically, the bottom of this support line would be about 37,204. If we fail to find support there, we should see it drop pretty quickly back down to about 34,000. I'll mark that out. So in the meantime, if we can't hold above these newly created support lines, there's no reason for me to be in a long trade. Now, as long as we're maintaining it, I'll stay in my long. Like right now, BTC, kind of just coasting along that support. But I'm not too eager to play any other positions at the moment due to possibly an impending drop. If Ethereum, for whatever reason, can get back about 2,880, and there maybe is some altcoins that have a position for me to get into, I might consider it. But at the moment, we have macro setup calling for downside. We're failing to hold supports. It's just a clear picture of what's happening here. So I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to waste away the profits that we've gained. The good profit that we made so far. And with the longs, the past couple days when they were decently in profit, considering the account was able to have like a little bit of a positive, but I'm still hanging around the $3,000 mark. If we can break these supports and start falling pretty decently, by the end of it, we should see somewhere around a 25% increase to the account. So looking forward to it, definitely. But in other news, just been chillaxing, watching TV, mining, letting my computer do some work. So obviously with the market dropping a little bit, P&L's not too pretty across the board, but that's the point of mining. It's not to maintain what the profits were when they came in. It's just the simple fact that, if I'm spending $1 on electricity, but getting $6 worth of Bitcoin, and I can divvy that up across coins, it allows me to be 6 times as safe. That's all it is. So, cumulative P&L, what, past 7 days? Let's do 30 days. 67% down. So technically, if the market came back up to what it was, I could have possibly $200 sitting here. That would be pretty nice. But one position I am looking forward to, like I said, for everybody that's in the chat, that's kind of like a crossover between me and Ryan. I do like KDA. I know some people were like, why do you hate on it so much? No, I don't hate on it. I do think that what they're trying to do is very good, and I think that the people behind the project is quite sound, which is a rarity nowadays. You don't typically find, you can't put a face to projects as much. But this is where like patience is a virtue. If you overreact, whether that be positively and like you're very excited about something, that can be equally as bad as if you're overreacting and selling willy-nilly because you're scared. All right. Now, would we have put in a lower low? In a different timeline, no. But because I was patient, I waited for the setup, I now have a clear and direct approach to how I'm going to get into the KDA market. All right, so now on the macro scale here, we have A coming down, B coming up, and C coming down. We have put in that lower low. So if we get back above, $4.38 roughly, just because, depending on what exchange you're on or whatever it might be, I will be trying to take longs in that region. Now, hopefully, Bitcoin and Ethereum coincide with that crossover with bullish subs of their own, but who's to see? Because the big problem right now is if KDA cannot recover back above $4.38, I'm sorry to say, all right, it's not me talking about it from a shitcoin perspective or anything like that. It's simple support and resistance. That's all it is. Now, doesn't mean that we will have to go down there. It just means that technically at the very moment in time is the highest probability. That's all. All right. If we cannot get back above $4.38, KDA will possibly, and in terms of probability, drop down to $1.40, which if we can see some sort of newer setup, maybe a medium to short-term time frame ABC, I'll try to take a long from down there, most definitely, because it's just in favor of what I'm doing. Now, think about it like this as well. If you guys are in the position that I'm in, where I'm using my mining profits to build a KDA position, because the thing is there's so much R&R to the upside. There is, but the problem is you have to battle psychology in the meantime, and you can say DCA and hold, but for a lot of people that's not going to be true. So if you can do something to combat your psychology, you're gonna have a lot better time. So if we do see KDA drop down to $1.40, being a low cap altcoin at the moment comparatively to the rest of the crypto market, that is a high likelihood. But say BTC, for example, and Ethereum, they're probably going to see drops 10, 20 to 30% before they start to get some sideways retesting motions. So if you are mining, you're still going to be able to have some decent profitability with your miners. But now you're able to buy way more KDA at a lower price point. So for miners, it only gets better and better and better and better. But unfortunately, it doesn't get so good for the people that are spot buying, because if we cannot hold $1.40, you got 70 cents and then obviously 31 cents. So hopefully $1.40 is the magical key ticket. And like I said, I don't care if it drops down to $1.40. All right. This is my current setup. So if we do happen to come back at $4.38, I'll be taking along and then obviously adding some of my personal position into the market. I'm not going to disclose how much it is because I don't want to influence people, because what I deem to be appropriate may not be for you. So that's as far as I got to say about that. Let's chat now. All right, just wanted to get the TA out of the way, what my thoughts were. And for the song I play in the beginning, for anybody that wants to find out what songs I'm playing, In the description, there's a Spotify playlist to all the songs that I play on live stream. I saw your message, WS. You said, having a fantastic day. My account's down 90%. Now, why is that, good sir? What happened, man? Walk me through it. What was the decisions that led to it? Said, yeah, not coming through the... Oh, you're talking about the weed eater. Fantastic. I might have to throw on my other headset so I can't hear it as well myself. Who's still in the 47K short? Man, you got a 47K short? That's what's up. I'm a stinky 45,500. Well, good on you if you got that position. You held on to it. What up, Holmes? Discounting, hedging. What's your thoughts on trading USDT perpetual versus inverse? When is one more advantageous than the other? Once we start hitting some of the lowest known local lows, that's when it does make some sense to start transferring some of the trades over to inverse perpetual. So like I said, I in particular, if we do see $1,300 on Ethereum, I'll be starting to switch over to inverse perpetual. Do you like Johnny Depp? I think it's funny. I saw some of the clips of him in court. And I don't know what I think. I do believe that he is the innocent one in the situation, but at the time, it's never that simple. You know, you got to look at the bigger picture. So, I don't know. I haven't followed too closely, so I can't really say. Not something I'm well versed in. So, hey, how you doing? I'm bearish as hell. I'm just waiting, sitting down on the sidelines. That's good. What's up? I'm doing pretty fantastic. I've gotten to the latter end of this book I've been reading. Well, not reading, but listening to at night, called Health, Wealth, Mind, something like that. I always forget the book title. Heart, Breath, Mind. And I said, I gave it to people last night. I gave a link to it. I said, the title looks like something you read on a middle-aged woman's wall, but the science is great in the book, and it really is. If you look up Heart, Breath, Mind by Leah Lagos, it's a great book. It talks about resonance, getting your heart to about 1 hertz, and the breathing technique to do that. It takes a decent period of time, but that's what I've been doing on my off time here. Hey Kite, for how long can you hold a futures long? I don't know if what I'm doing is technically futures. I believe futures, you can, like, there's different, you can set the time. And if you, the shorter the period, I think the lower the payout. Because I'm not quite sure how futures work. I don't know if it's in the money, if that's one of the terms. So if you can have a futures trade that's 6 months and you're still correct after 6 months, I believe your payout will be significantly larger than, say, a short-term time frame trade. Not quite sure how futures work. Not my area of expertise. But I believe it's not like predestined. You can set it, and that will determine your odds. Said, hey, from RVA, where you at? Mechanicsville, Thornburg, Midlothian, Glen Allen. Don't tell me you're from Glen Allen. You rich snob. Short pump. I will say, Short Pumps Mall is pretty awesome. Chesterfield. I'm trying Petersburg, Hopewell, all those surrounding cities. When I bought my bags, I didn't fully understand the basic concept of DCAing. Yeah, and I mean, people think that dollar cost averaging, you can't let go of positions. Like, you're not locked in this market. And if you do play the probability correctly, that's the biggest problem. Most people don't know how to look at it from that perspective. There's nobody forcing you to hold your positions when you buy up top. That's why I draw these support lines. Now, if it's a spot position, I'm probably going to have a stop loss somewhere around 10% rather than a 1% stop loss with a leverage trade. Just me personally. And if you have a decent distance, so like say with KDA, for example, all right, if you DCA'd when it touched this line and you set up a 10% stop loss, all right, you're only losing 10%, saving the other 90%. And since the probability is so far away, the money that you saved is going to be much, much more worth it to put in down at the spot in the market. Now, if you have, $5,000 and you throw $5,000 in here and then $5,000 in here, technically your dollar cost average should be around $2.42, which still wouldn't be bad. And then maybe you throw $10,000 down here and maybe you can bring it down even lower. But it is a tricky business. It definitely is. But if you are working with these absolutely macro timeframes and there's distinct supports that you can rely on, such as this, I do think it's worth it to play a little bit of a more trading style. Me personally, just because that's my background, that's what I know how to do. But are those Sennheiser HD 600s? Yeah, they're the HD 650s, I believe. Favorite Johnny Depp quote: when I asked if he kept cocaine in the box. No, but it does look like it could fit some. Yeah, that could hold quite a bit of cocaine. I would say so myself. That's a good one. I haven't heard that. I hear Bybit is about to start offering options. Thoughts? No, not really. Because if they do, like if Bybit starts offering options, I'm not going to be tempted to play them just because I like the game that I'm playing and I've learned how to play it well. If someone can convince me that options hold a significant advantage over my trading style, maybe I'll give it a try and I'll look into it. But as far as I know, I'm going to have a lot better time sticking to what I know just because I've built pretty much my entire playstyle around it. Oh, you're just straight up in downtown Richmond. Okay. You're in the heart. Do you drag your stop loss to break even point after you're in profit? No, I don't. Now, so like, it's I don't want to say I never have. So, for example, here, okay? Actually, let's do Ethereum because that's what I actually did it on. All right. I took a long on Ethereum from 2,494. Okay. Shh, Siri. So, once we put in, and I did that off of this setup right here, A, B, C, and I held that. All right, because I said, okay, if I can find a position at the bottom of this downtrend, that's an A, this is technically a B, and I have the possibility for a C, so I'm going to hold that long and wait for the higher C here. So once we put in that larger setup, all right, since obviously this ABC is much more massive than this ABC, the larger one holds the higher probability of actually working out. And when you combine that with the fact that we have downtrend, uptrend, downtrend, the possibility for us to go continue down to 1725 is very likely. So if I took I tried to get this right. I didn't do it on Ethereum properly, but I did do it properly on BTC. All right. At this point in time, I took my short. I got wicked out a couple times and I lost the trade. By the time it came back down, I was already here. Couldn't get back into it. But theoretically, I would have opened up a short from this line here. But at the same time, I was holding my long position. All right, because what if I'm wrong? What if we are able to go back and retest a little bit and we can start moving up from there? Because previous resistance could become new support. So in this case scenario, I need to find a new point that is decent for me to long from. All right, because if I don't have a confident way to get back into the market, if I am wrong about it going down, I can't technically, take my long off the table. All right, just my personal strategy. Now, you could set it up differently. I'm not saying that there is a right or wrong way to do it, but what I did was once we had this downtrend here and we broke into this uptrend here, once we put in that lower low, that now created a new long setup for me to go long from. So I don't even have to know whether or not we were going to put in a lower low. I set my stop loss underneath this, because if that gets hit, then I have a lower low and I have a new place to go long from. If we would have got back above the A, I would have gone long from this new setup, taken profit on my original long setup from down here, and let the market play out how the market wants to play out. Because there is no direction that the market is going to head. All right, things can change on a dime. So if I can play my cards correctly to be right either way and make a decent amount of money in the process, like I said, the main goal is not to make the max amount of profit the market can ever give you. But let's say out of the 100% of profit that the market can give you, you're able to capture maybe around 25 to 35% of that consistently. Now your account's growing. It might not grow as fast as you want it to, but now when you take a 1% trade in the future, a couple months down the line, instead of having $2,000 in your account, maybe you have $3,500. Now your R&R, if you have a 10 R&R trade, your reward goes from making $200 to $350. Now you're making 150% more profit per trade. It just takes time. That's the power of compounding. Now, like I said, there's a time and a place for everything. If the market is in an extreme bull cycle, typically is going to happen. It comes when the math is there for it, supply and demand. Right now, supply and demand goes towards the shorts. So mathematically, we have to play shorts more than we play longs. All right, it doesn't mean that we can't play longs because of the inflation rate of Bitcoin, since it is low. It does give room to the upside, but overall, the probability, say 51%, is towards shorts. So therefore, if you can find an edge, use that edge. When you transfer coins into inverse perpetual account, do you have to trade that specific coin? Yes, you can only trade. So if you have BTC perpetual, you can only trade the BTC market. That is one of the disadvantages, but it can really help you out. During the bull market with that $100 portfolio, I want to say probably only about maybe $25,000 of it was actual profit made from trades. The rest was the market doing all the work. So inverse perpetual was extremely beneficial there. It really was. I can only short KDA if KDA gives me a short setup. Now, let me check maybe like the 15-minute to 30-minute time frame and see if it has something. Because like I said, in terms of probability at the moment, we got some. About a 50% drop could be inbound. Actually, that would probably be more than a 50% drop. Let's say that we get a retest of this and we get a bearish ABC around that region. I probably will take that short just because of the probability. That would be a 67% drop. So I'll try it. I'll definitely try it if we get something. But I don't think anything on this. Yeah, even on the 15-minute time frame, there's nothing yet. There's not even a long setup yet for me. Possibly, like, I might try to scalp this later on. Possibly around the $3.51 region here. If we put in a lower low, I'll possibly try to take that. Because I do think the market would want to try to retest that $4.38 support and confirm it as resistance if we are going to move down. So that is quite a hefty scalp here. If we do happen to get that entry and we get some sort of decent retest, that could be a 20% profit. So that is on my watch list. I'm actually going to leave that alert set up just in case. Because that's quite a bit right there. Bit late for stream and on the way to bed, but still. How are you, Austin Kite Maestro? Doing pretty good. How are you? Had my doctor's appointment today, and I was honest about some of my concerns and all that kind of stuff, and she said she had to consult her head physician to clear if she can still prescribe me, which whatever they decide, I believe to be right. So because it was a nice little boost in my life, and I do have ADHD just because it's been diagnosed throughout several family members, and just because, you know, I can commonly relate to the symptoms. But I lived well before medication, and I'll live well again. It was just nice to have a little bit of a clear head for a while. Definitely helped with productivity and all that kind of stuff. Have you ever watched other markets besides crypto, like S&P 500? I keep an eye on them like maybe once a week, but in reality, it doesn't really affect me all that much because we're working off of different dynamics here. That's an inflationary based market, whereas, you know, BTC, you know, it's inflationary, but it's like 1% a year. So, and then obviously once it hits its finite cap, it's deflationary from there on out. So it's just a different dynamic. So obviously, because of the way money flows in the world, it's going to affect the Bitcoin market, but usually I can see the impact beforehand, just looking at the crypto's chart. I don't have to look at the S&P 500 or the US 100 to know what crypto's going to do, because crypto shows me what crypto's going to do. I'm here for fish. Where's at fish? Buggy man. Is it best to take a long or short trades with inverse perpetual account on the market? Well, technically, longs are always going to be the most profitable because you can go 200%. Shorts can never go 99% until you can't sell it for anything. So, I mean, there's no really like substantial negative. Now, if probability is on the side of shorts, it makes sense to sit in USDT perpetual, but once we get a little bit closer to the halvening, start getting some retests of these local lows, definitely switching to inverse perpetual is going to be the move. Now, obviously, in order to play some of these low cap altcoins, if that is still something you want to do, you're going to have to leave some money in USDT, but that's no big deal, really not. A good boy. Love the fish. Anton, How you doing? Doing pretty good, man. It's been a good day so far. It's sunny outside, but cool. What we like to see. Would you call 0.13343 a potential ABC long on Doge? Get that out of here. Don't you know? Who cares about the Elon Musky poo? Obviously, I know. Doge, they like to pump it whenever he talks about it, but I don't think it's going to make a big difference. Let's go on a 15-minute here. I kind of see like an ABC, but I don't know why you would want to play the Doge market, man. It is quite dreadful to look at that price action, how rocky it's been. But I guess so. But if the only time it really pumps is when he tweets about it, like right here, then you're putting your fate in something that is not too reliable. I don't know, if you want to play it, you want to play it. I just look at the overall trend here. You know, all these other coins, they've at least had some sort of bottom, retest, sideways. You just look at the trend of Doge. Doge just gone. Doge gone. You know, maybe you can play this macro ABC. That might be something to maybe look into, but I'm okay without ever playing Doge. I'll be fine. Well, I mean, if he was actually going to integrate Doge with Twitter, wouldn't it be a little bit more poppy? Seven o'clock on the dot. I need a crack rock on the spot. I'm a little bit tired today because I didn't get to sleep until probably around like, I want to say like 5 a.m. last night. I had to be up at 11:20 for my doctor's appointment. So a little bit tired, but it was good for me because my sleeping schedule has been a little bit out of whack recently. So, you know, getting a little bit less sleep. That way I'm tired tonight. I'll get to bed on a normal time. And now that I got something to do, because the regimen that I got going for the heart rate variability training is typically you're breathing around 12 times a minute if you're out of sync, and that causes your heart rate to be extremely high. What I do is I breathe in, breathe out, and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe again. So obviously, you know, that's going to keep me around that 5 to 6 breath mark per minute, which is what you want to target. And it was actually pretty crazy. Like when I laid down to start the HVT, my heart rate was around 95 beats per minute. And then after about 10, 20, 30 minutes, I checked my Apple Watch. And it was saying like 75, 80 beats per minute, which I know. You're gonna go, Austin, so you're telling me that like you laid down and your heart rate slowed down? I know, doesn't sound that cool. But when you're me, you know, even sitting in a chair for some reason, my heart rate's high. So obviously I know it's diet, this, that. But it was pretty cool to see the real-time results of just breathing. Now, I knew a little bit because just from the Wim Hof, I know that breathing has a huge effect on your heart rate. Because that last breath of air that you bring in, and like you clench your stomach and you bring it up into your chest, that will spike your heart rate down. It'll go from like 100 to 65 beats a minute pretty quickly. LOL, that hurt. I feel like you're not mad, just disappointed. Well, I mean, just look at like some of the past integrations. Is it really going to be that monumental for Doge to be integrated with Twitter? Because what's it going to be used for on Twitter? Like, oh, you like that guy's Twitter post, so you're going to donate some Doge? It's basically like basic attention tokens tip function. It's not really going to be that monumental. I don't think it's going to be used that much. Now, if like you can tell me what it's going to be used for and it's not that, and it's something pretty damn cool, maybe. But, you know. Can I get some EMF clothes? Radiation affects your heartbeat. Sure it does. Well, like, I don't think that can be used forever. Like, if I was in space and I had that kind of radiation hitting me, yeah, maybe some EMF clothes would be pretty cool. But, I don't know. I feel like if we're going to live on this planet with all these electronic devices, it kind of makes sense for me to sacrifice a little bit of my health a little bit to have my genes assimilate to live in that environment. Because otherwise, like, what, are my great-great-great-great-grandkids going to have to wear EMF clothes? Only you can prevent bad genes. It's like the bear that says only you can prevent forest fires. But well, I'm gonna order lunch probably after I get off of live stream here. Woolly bully. pH water. I feel like Taco Bell at this point in time probably owes me some royalties. The amount of people that I have converted to the faith of Nacho Fry is astonishing. And I ordered 3 orders of nacho fries. All right, don't hate me. If you try them, you understand, because 3 orders, it's basically they give you like a small amount. All right, so 3 orders of nacho fries isn't really that much. All right, I'm trying to make it sound better than it actually is. It's atrocious, I understand, but they're too good to pass up, and they're there for a limited time. Don't hate me, please. They didn't even like fill up 3 separate 2-ounce cups of cheese. They just got the bowl that they use for the cheesy potatoes and just filled it to the brim with cheese. And it was disgusting. Like, it was good because everybody loves more cheese, but to see that amount of cheese was disgusting. I do feel like that sometimes. You know, it's like one of those cartoons where like each nacho fry that I put in my mouth, and I just see like, you know, my thigh get bigger here, stomach starts blowing out. What's your overall perspective in terms of TA on BTC? Are you of the opinion we're in a wave 4 correction on our way into wave 5? Well, technically, like, if you're talking in terms like that, I'm assuming you're talking about Elliott wave. Elliott wave, when you're in a downwards trend, it works in ABCs, but to me, it also works in ABCs on the uptrend. So I'm assuming that you're saying that this is wave 1, this is, well, let me use the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are you trying to say that we're going into the 5th wave? 'Cause I'm not. I do not believe that we're still bullish. I believe that if you want to say there was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this was it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not your picture perfect Elliott wave, I know. That's the problem. If you're always looking for picture perfect, you're never going to find it. Maybe once in a while, but then that just confuses you. I believe this to be a downtrend, uptrend, downtrend, and we have yet to see a retest of the A, so I can't say that we're bullish in the slightest. What? What's up, James Corden? Ugh. Ugh. My feelings. I personally like James Corden. The first time I saw James Corden was in Doctor Who, which I don't know like what happened, if he like joined the Illuminati or something in order to like become this, you know, a monolith figure in pop culture. He went from being like a side character for one episode on Doctor Who to, and like obviously like I'm not, you know, English, so I don't know like what other movies he was in or anything like that. I'm sure he had a great prospering career before Doctor Who. I'm just saying, I do think it was the bridge to the United States for us to love him so much. Because Doctor Who, everybody loves Doctor Who. And if you don't, you just haven't seen it yet. That's all I'm saying. Now, the woman Doctor Who and Peter Capaldi, I didn't really like, but everything before that, I loved. Now, Peter Capaldi, I love him a lot. I think he's a great actor. I just think the writing on the show was shit. So, they really did him a disservice because he could have been one of the most fantastic doctors. And there was a couple episodes that that the writing was okay and it really shined. But can't really touch the ninth, and can't touch David Tennant, and I forgot Matt's last name. But hey Kai, did you already look at Sushi, bro? I'm letting Sushi go with the wind, man. I'm not gonna try to catch that anymore. Just cause, oh man, I got logged out. But right now, unless we come back above $2.73, there's nothing for me to do there. Yeah, let me try to log back in here. There we go. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. There's no real saving grace since we are starting. We're pretty much just primarily bearish, unless we can get to a decent support on Ethereum and BTC at the same time. I don't want to really try to long. Now, the reason why I'm particularly looking at KDA is because I'm not really looking for a lot of movement here. The retest of $4.38, although percentage-wise is a lot in terms of the logarithmic size on the chart, it's not that much movement really. Like I said, I need some sort of setup. If I don't get a long position to get that retest, hopefully there is some sort of bearish ABC upon the approach of $4.37. Final capitulation at 30K. More than likely, I'm sure that 30K will try to hold the best it can, but I do think we're gonna see lower than 29,000. Like I said, I would be looking towards Ethereum. When Ethereum hits 1300, that is technically our best chance of finding an appropriate bottom. Would you consider us to still be in a bull market after the break of the 28K low? Yes. Now, until the next halving, mathematics are geared towards the retesting of downside price action, but it was always a bull market, and it still is. You have a deflationary asset. The entire thing is a bull market. I don't think there's going to be any new all-time highs until like 900 days from now. Just being realistic. I've already been through this. The hopium, the what ifs, drawing 1,000 different lines to convince yourself it's happening sooner. You can't beat simple mathematics. That's what I've learned over the years. You just can't. Hey Kite, you're a really cool dude. I know I am. I'm the coolest. I'm that dude. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate the vids. Still trying to dial in my trading to be more like Hughes. Gotta spend more time. Trying to get my brain still though. It's a process. We had one person in the group that needs to take some time off because he kind of let himself go and made a mistake. And that's why, like, I try my best to tell people what's up before it happens. But sometimes, for some people, you have to go through some absolute anguish. Once you realize that you aren't in control as much as you might think, that's when the fun starts. Because, like I said, there's so many ways to influence the biology. The biology helps you get better trades because you're calming yourself down. So heart rate variability, learning about, parasympathetic dominance. There's a time and place for sympathetic nervous system, but definitely not staring at a chart sitting in a chair. The dopamine system and how it determines your decisions and will gear you towards a certain type of thinking. Drugs that you can take to interfere with those systems and make them more advantageous for what you're trying to do. There's so many options. It's just people always think that I'd rather people start with that kind of stuff than try to say that this indicator is going to help you more. ETH has 270,000 month coins insurance. Is that what you're trying to type? After burn, it is also deflationary. I'm not quite sure. I haven't looked into the mathematics of ETH as much. I would assume it becomes deflationary to a certain extent once the market slows down. But I was just talking about Bitcoin mostly. It's just simple support and resistance when I'm talking about that $1,300 number. You go to the daily time frame here, and you start from back here, right? Where do you see the major break of trend? All right, you have uptrend, downtrend, local low, uptrend, downtrend, local low, uptrend, downtrend, local low. So these are the supports of Ethereum. So one of the main reasons why we were able to solidify momentary support was this right here. All right, because we retested that and confirmed the support, that is what we're doing right now. Now, I do believe because of this ABC right here that showed us that it's going to be a fight. I'm not saying that there's a absolute zero chance that we're going to see upside. What I'm saying is that the probability, to me, because of the ABC, say 51% is to the downside. If you want to put it at an extreme. Also, the mathematics of the Bitcoin market, since that's the big daddy, that doesn't help the long situation either. So if we do happen to fall and break through the support, now these macro supports, especially the farther away from we are from the creation of them, the less likely that it is that it's a direct line of support or resistance. All right, right here, right, this was the previous resistance, became new support. It's not a direct line. You can see now that we're far, far away from it, the original creation of it, right? Price action can go over and under. It's more like a generalized area rather than a direct line. So the same goes for down here. So when I talk about these direct points where I want to see price action go, realistically, just for the sake of time, I say one number, but it's more like a boxed region. So if we come back down and we can't hold our support here, price action will most likely drop down to about $1,700. That can be anywhere from $1,830 to $1,566 before solidifying support and seeing any sort of retest come into the market. If we cannot hold support there, we move down lower. That can be anywhere from $1,200 to $1,400, but $1,300 being the key number, just because of that's where the last known tap was. It's the same exact concept for how I was able to predict that the market was going to flash crash down to 29,000. It's simple support and resistance. It's not me being arrogant saying that I know the market will do it. I'm saying that if the market puts itself in a certain position, the probability of that outcome happening now increases. Therefore, I play it as such. Right here we have an uptrend, downtrend, local low, uptrend, downtrend, local low, uptrend, downtrend, local low. So back at the beginning of the bull market, these were the supports that we had to work with. So when we got down to this support right here, I went long. I went long into this. I believe I took profits at some point, I think prematurely as well, if I remember correctly. And then we had an ABC top. We started to fall down. I went long right here. I had a little bit different strategy at the time, so I probably could have saved myself some headache around that region. But if we cannot hold here, the market will drop down to here. And I went long. And I caught a nice long to the upside and then started working with the market sideways. And then from there, as long as we don't break this support, I am long. And I was long all the way through this. I took a short up here, caught this downtrend. I went long again, caught that uptrend. I caught the top, but not as well as I probably should have. And I didn't hold it for nearly as long enough because I'm not going to lie, there was a little bit of hopium in me that it would be a slight retest, but I should have just stuck true and said, okay, we have an A, we have a B, we have a C on the macro scale. And that's just, we live and we learn. And that's why nowadays I stay completely true to what I'm saying. If my strategy is this, my strategy is that. There is no ands, ifs, or buts. Only if, this, and that statements. We work like a robot. That's all it is. Now, obviously, there is a little bit of intuition in terms of thinking outside the box in order to maximize profit. But besides that, the strategy is the strategy. There's nothing else you can do about it. That's why people go like, why don't you move your take profit up? Why don't you do this? That changes the entire dynamic. It really does. Now, I think I've found a way to do it appropriately, but only time will tell. Are you fully in USDT, or do you have anything you're holding? I am still holding Bitcoin from $500. I'm still holding Bitcoin from about $4,000. My mean average over the course of 2019, 2020 was about $9,000. That's my DCA average. And I'm still holding the Bitcoin from there. Now, like, I've cashed out most of the profits that were made short term during this upper half of the bull market, but I have no intention of ever selling that Bitcoin ever. Not until we've gone to war or something like that. $900 days. I'm sure the BTC halving is next year. I don't believe so. 700 days, 19 hours, 50 minutes, and 30 seconds. So I wasn't right, but it is definitely around 2 years from now. But I'm talking about like technically the next like bull market, because you don't really see the math start to influence Bitcoin. It gets to a breaking point. So usually the bull market comes 200 days, 300 days after the halving. The halving happened before the COVID drop on BTC. I forgot exactly when the halving was, but it was sometime around here. So it took from the halving, I'm guesstimating, please don't try to say that I'm stupid on this. It took about 300 days before we saw price action really start to rip. Now, don't get me wrong, this is really good price action, 200%, nothing to scoff at. All right, but in terms of like the bull market, you know, like when we see things go ballistic, all right, that's usually about 200, 300 days afterwards. Because you got to give time for the math to catch up and people start to realize. All right. And then once it gets to that critical mass, boom, nuclear explosion. Hi, Austin. I want to join your Telegram. I don't have a Telegram anymore. I have a Discord. And if you want to join, that's found through the Patreon. Just wait a couple days. Wait until at least the second of the month. It's nothing special. It's a community. I do post when I get in and out of trades. And I try to give like a pre-warning of like what I'm thinking about the market. I hang out in there, talk to people sometimes, and chillax. And I mean, don't feel bad. Like if you guys come into the chat, all right, if you want to ask me a question, ask me a question. Even though like I might be playing poker or playing like a video game, I will pause what I'm doing if you're honest about what you're trying to ask. So you have access, you have more access to me, and you have access to people that have been in my community for a long time. And I mean to toot my own horn because it's not my horn to toot. The people that are in that group, I do believe are a different breed, you know? They're not there for hype. People there that are just trying to make a small amount more than what they had last time and do that over a long period of time. I'm not shilling altcoins, I'm not pumping stuff. I'm not saying you're going to become a millionaire by next week. It is a long process. About 700 to 800 days to be exact if you want to start from now. You prepared for that. That's all. Like I said, the cold stone fact of it is a lot of you guys are not going to be here. Just because that's how it works, guys. It's human psychology. People are drawn into the crypto market from the lust for money. And then that money starts to die off. And they, some of them come over to the trading and think that that's their answer to maintain the profits that once were. But it's a long, arduous game. It really is. I'm using 2 different entry strategies right now. As long as they're not on the same account and you can track which one is really working better than the other. That way you can narrow it down. And there might be bits and pieces from both strategies that if merged together could be more appropriate. It's trial and error. And as long as that trial and error remains somewhat cheap, and this is why it's so important to learn strictly the mathematics of what's happening. The return on investment from trade to trade on average, the win ratio on average from market to market, whether that be retest up and down or bull market or bear market, whatever it might be. And that way, like, even if you have an account that's $200, if you're looking at the math and the strategy is the strategy, no matter what your account is worth, you can go apply that to a larger account. The only problem is once you start getting up into like the big boy bucks, that's when you start showing up. All right, so the only people that are really being battled against are the people that have lots and lots of money. If I throw $200,000 down on a long, people see that, and people can take advantage of that. No one cares about your $20. That's why I do find a lot of fun with these challenge portfolios in particular. The people that got like millions of dollars, you can do what's called an iceberg trade. So instead of having one brokerage account that opens up one trade of a massive size, you can open up 100 trades divided of that main one. Make yourself look like many different people, and maybe stack them instead of having them one price point. I'll be here until I'm a millionaire. You won't see me for sure. I don't know, man. Maybe you'll still be here just chillaxing, though. Not too concerned. I'll tell you what, it does get boring. All right, guys. With that, I'll let you go for today. I'll let you guys enjoy your weekends. Happy Saturday. I'll see you guys again on Monday. I ordered an EKG. I'm super excited about that. Do some, because like obviously the Apple Watch works good enough for what I'm using it for, but I would like to see like the real-time feedback, because I want to become a superhuman. I will be sitting here on live stream, heartbeat, 20 beats a minute, looking like a turtle, moving all slow. Hold on, before I go, I did want to show you something. I think it needs to be seen. It's crucial, actually, if I do say so myself. Absolutely and utterly crucial. Look at this frog. Do you like it? It had to be seen. All right. I don't think there's anything else I want to talk about. All right, guys. I love you very much. I'll see you soon. Anton, Smith, Africa, Johnny and Johnny Crypto, Quarter Crawler, Alf Trader. Do you teach your strategy in the Patreon? I have a tutorial on my YouTube channel for free, and I have thousands of streams. So you don't have to buy the Patreon to learn how to trade ABCs. All right, guys. Let's choose a song for the outro today. Kai Straw came out with a new song that's about 5 minutes long. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. That's what we'll play. If you guys like the song, it will be in the description on the Spotify playlist, as always. All right, guys. I love you. I'll see you soon. Let's do the thing. Bye.
No one gave me shit. I've worked for this. At this point, I'm just done with encouragement. You say talented, I say calloused. I'm tasting my blood, just pronouncing it. Since Fairfield days, the beats I made. I may have quit drinking, but dream the same. I was told it's the moon. Like good luck, Mr. Rocket Shoes. And they asked me why you working all days of the week to get somewhere you'll never reach. I've been wishing for better so long. I guess I'm sick of wishing in my bed alone. If those wishes were weapons, they're full metal jackets or stuff. So fuck wishing I'm here with a gun. Jiminy Cricket never made me anyone. All my clips are full of bitterness, and I'm coming for you. I'ma bloom like a wicked magnolia. I'm not stopping this, just the opposite. I won't drop when most people need oxygen. Since the green Lexus, since the weed excess, since the drink was my treatment for depression. Man, my lips been blue, fuck what stitches do. I put red on this mic like it's 92. I was told it's the moon. Like good luck, Mr. Rocket Shoes. And they asked me why you working all days of the week towards something you'll never be. I've been wishing for better so long. I guess I'm sick of wishing in my bed alone. If those wishes were weapons, they're full metal jackets or stuff. So fuck wishing I'm here with a gun. Jiminy Cricket never made me anyone. All my clips are full of bitterness, and I'm coming for you. I'ma bloom like a wicked magnolia. until I'm taken by weeds. My will is my leprosy, instead of wounds that scrape the sheets. I've got no turn back in me, so set glass beneath my feet. Take the last breath that I need to meet what glows beyond my reach. I'll become a tragedy. There is no hell that spells retreat. Fuck your gravity.